Live. Hey everybody, how we doing? Everybody hear me okay? Give me a cheers. Hold up your beer, your stein of coffee or beer, depending on whether you're a Baptist or not. Sorry I'm a little late. There's a train going by. We live near a train. I also went and got my haircut with my son, you can tell. And also, my daughter, I went just about to go upstairs, and one of my daughters had nachos all over the ground. She's 4, so she made a little debut in my gardening video I did this last Monday. I'm gonna post gardening videos just for fun. We'll see how it goes. It's probably not like the wisest thing to do as far as like YouTube growth and algorithm, and people come for that, but they'll hate this or vice versa. Maybe. Anyway, it's springtime. I encourage a garden. If you can grow a garden, do it. No excuses, Celie says. Sorry. This is not coffee. This is tea. This is actually a what is it? London Fog. Jason drinks those. Jason X doesn't drink those. Jason Winokur does, though. Jason X drinks, I think, like cheap knockoff coffee or something, like Folgers, I think. Just kidding. Anyway, he can speak for himself if he shows up. I drank these, though. My wife's drank these for quite some time. But this isn't what this is about at all. But it's fun being live, isn't it? You're just kind of like, this is what's happening right now. Like, I mean, even, people can slap people in the face on live TV and just see what I mean, right? Man, so many memes, right? Will Smith, Chris Rock, so many memes. Unbelievable amount of memes. Like, I don't know the last time that we've seen this many memes. Drop a comment. Tell me. Either now, repent. Bottom line, Dad says. Why? Because you drink Folgers? Don't tell me you drink Folgers. Colt 45s. Well, I was going to say beer. I know Jason's a Presbyterian. I didn't want to get him in trouble. Although Jason X doesn't actually. He's not a real person, technically. Don't tell Jason X that. I know. Water, Sealy. Yeah, I know. It's the best. I do drink my fair share of water. My Nalgene water bottles. Anyway, we're here because we're going to look at a little behind the scenes look at my channel. And I like to be transparent. I like to have fun. And hey, John, welcome. And yeah, so we're going to look at, they did remove the dislike button, which I'll put a drop in the comments or description, one of the two. I did a dislike video. I went into a bunch of like whitehouse.gov and CNN and a bunch of like random things. A lot of it was about the Rona. And before they removed it, I'd heard about it. And then like 2 weeks later, everything vanished. I think you couldn't do the dislikes. I didn't really pay attention to the dislike on other platforms, but I guess even other platforms don't even have an option to dislike, let alone count it. So YouTube, I guess, is kind of like behind the times or ahead of the times, depending on your perspective. But now you can still dislike a video, but nobody can tell how many dislikes there are. You can get a good feeling of how many there are, though, based on 10,000 views and only like 50 likes, or something like that. And there's kind of a variation therein. Anyway. Oh. You no.
Why?
All right, live videos. She's asking me about a sucker. You can hear the crying, I'm sure. Don't worry, I didn't beat her. Don't call CPS. But really, don't call CPS. I said, ask your mother. And she said no. I guess I'm too much of a softie. There she is again. That was her. She also showed up in 2 videos now this week. Wow, she's trying to crash my YouTube channel. All right. Dislike button is not a thing anymore, at least counting it. There's a lot of other things you can't really see behind the scenes on somebody's channel. I thought it'd be kind of fun to just look at the backside of my channel a bit, as both an encouragement and also just kind of bit of revelation, just kind of not airing dirty laundry. I hope that's not what it is or what it's seen as, but just something to be a little bit more, open and kind of like an ask me anything. And you can ask me. We're probably going to go back to doing one of those more specifically here in a week or two. but if you have a question, you can drop it if you want on the live anyway. So we're going to look at my channel. Now, I don't do this again to brag. I'm not trying to brag. It's just more talking about it. It's really an encouragement also to fellow YouTubers and other people who are maybe wanting to start a YouTube channel. And a lot of the work that goes into it, a lot of people don't realize how much work does go into videos. Some people spend a lot of time on a video. I spend probably, I would imagine, average or less. I know some people do live streams and they don't do any editing. They don't do any research. They just talk. Okay. And there's other people, they'll do all sorts of animations and editing and stock footage and on and on and on. And I just don't have that kind of time to spend on a video. Now, if I, had, I guess, tens of thousands or millions of followers, like some people do, and subscriptions, that'd be a different story. Celia says, I prefer soft tacos over nachos. Yeah, we do different. We do regular tacos, nachos, mini tacos. We buy the mini tacos, little frozen ones. Carnitas, carne asada, on and on and on. Anyway, we like Mexican. Being from California helps. So here is this is the life of the channel. This is the lifetime of the channel. So I've actually reached and especially for those who are interested or wanting to, or maybe wanting to support in some way, to get a YouTube partnership, whatever it's called, ad revenue. I don't know. You have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. Praise God, I've gotten to 4,000 watch hours. You can see that right here in the little 4K, 4.1K. But I'm still very shy of that 1,000 mark. So if you haven't subbed, please sub. I would appreciate it. There are there's 500. You get to talk with the community where you get those little notifications and advertisements within the channel and questionnaires and things like that. Those are fun. You get that once you get that's unlocked at 500 and 1,000. The other thing I wanted to look at, I didn't mention this yet, is I wanted to look at some of my most popular videos. And it's kind of a throwback Thursday. That's not original to me. But we're going to watch my first Contra Thoughts. I recorded episode 1, March 31st, 2021. So a year ago exactly. It's really the main thrust of this channel, or main thrust of this episode, rather. So tell your friends, I need more subscribers. But honestly, that just kind of unlocks it, as it were, to get that. So I just want to look at, I don't know, drop a comment. Tell me what you think. You might have just seen it. My most popular video, if you know the videos, I know some people have jumped on, and that's okay. If you have a thought, the most popular, most watched video or the content therein. I'm going to wait a couple seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, maybe longer. But let me know. What do you think? This is the joy of live television, and this isn't really live television. What's funny, too, is the audience, and we're going to go into audience a little bit. We're going to look at this, and fellow YouTubers out there, go look at your audience. It's pretty interesting. You can see, and I have hunches of why certain things are a certain way, but to see where people are watching from. Your demographics, male and female, still just has that, which is good because that's all there is. Don't believe the lies. But what do you guys think? What do you think the most popular video is? Anybody have any suggestions? Jason mentioned that too. I'm going to do this. Nobody knows. It's all right. So last summer, I did some videos, as many people did, on Ed Litton and the scandal therein of his plagiarism and lying about it and everything else. I've done some other videos where I've done longer form, where I do the Saturday. I post these on Saturday where I interview somebody. And usually it's either like a testimony or just talking about a particular subject where I'm not an expert, but the guest is. And I've got, of course, Contra Thoughts, where I do those a couple days a week, talking about different various news stuff. I did yesterday's was about the slap, but it was more about not just the slap, but Will Smith and his belief of being a Christian and this and this and this. And ultimately, he's not actually a Christian. He's not displaying any fruits of the Spirit. He's not walking by faith and not by sight. He's not putting on the armor of God at all. And sure, I'm not saying because of the slap, that's the only exhibiting factor, but rather lots and lots of other things. So especially, having an open marriage, for example, is pretty suspect that you're not a Christian. Anyway, Susie Q's here. Hi, Susie Q. How are you? Welcome. All right. So we'll look at most popular videos, and then we're going to watch The first, it's only like 5.5 minutes, but we'll watch it all. Maybe I'll watch it on fast speed so I don't bore you guys. But we'll talk about it briefly and go from there. So my first, this is Stephen King, and this is pretty funny. Watch this. Ignorance pays. It waits and waits, and then we scroll over to the red fist of communism, the red star, Che Guevara. I don't know. And I did that. It's got 3,000 views. Those apparently don't count for your overall views, though, which is kind of funny. And I got 13 subscribers from that. Like, what? Anyway, it was funny, and I listened to this. I don't even know who that is singing. I don't probably condone her behavior, but it is what it is. He's wearing a shirt, "I Stand with Ukraine," and it's the clenched fist of Marxism, communism, which is what Ukraine is supposedly fighting against. Of course, this is the same clenched fist that was literally plagiarized by Black Lives Matter. Now, it's slightly different, but it's still the clenched fist. And this represents Marxism. It just does. And that's what I was showing here, quote unquote, proving that. 10-second video, kind of funny. But it's just a short, so it doesn't quite count. I don't really count it. It doesn't count in the overall views. At least that's what I'm told. But the most popular is this. This is The Rapture and the Mark of the Beast, where I had theologian, author, speaker Gary DeMar, great wise guy, 38 subscribers. Isn't that crazy? 38 subscribers. And that's directly from this. It could be like somebody watched this and they came back later and subscribed. So that's pretty remarkable. Over 2,300 views on that. Almost 800 hours of watch time. I owe Gary DeMar like coffee or something like that. But the thing is, it's a very particular, very sensitive and good subject matter. And quite frankly, it's something that's, let's see, where'd I go? That a lot of people don't know about, or they're told lies about, or misrepresentation, et cetera, et cetera. The likes on this, I was trying to see the likes without getting to the video. The likes on this are really high, meaning it's 119 likes. The dislike, I think, is 0 or maybe like 1. I need to go back to that. But again, I just love, I'm fascinated by stuff like this. Maybe this is boring to you. And if it is, okay, sorry. You don't have to watch if you don't want to. But I find this type of stuff fascinating, how it works, behaviors, why people do this, why they don't do that, and just certain things like that. So I thought I'd share. This is a bit about my own passion and my own interest. Ed Litton scandal. This was my second Ed Litton video I did. And it'll even tell the duration here. So people watch this one. It's over an hour. They watch almost a third of it, 27.7. But you can see that's kind of the average, 27.9, 20.2, 33%, 31%, 21%. So, I mean, as an encouragement to fellow YouTubers, don't feel bad making a long video, I would say. If people want to watch it, they're going to watch it. And honestly, I don't want shorter videos unless it's like 2 minutes. Personally, I want something that's like 2 or 3 minutes. If it's funny, it's a goofy skit, the guy or the gal, they're talking to themselves, and they're playing different characters. Those are funny. Or a cat video, sure. But if it's like a subject, it's 45 minutes. It's a subject. It's a 25-minute, because that's how long standard TV shows were, 22 minutes or 45 minutes with commercials. And, there's stuff that I've slogged through that's 3 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours. Usually I'll listen on 1.25 speed or 1.5 speed. Again, don't feel bad if you fast forward me, although I talk pretty fast. So it might be hard to listen. That's my whole goal, right? Just to trick you. But yeah, so that one, the Gary DeMar video, the Litton video, Proverbial Life. What's up, brother? How you doing? Pineapple on pizza is heretical. It's not my only flavor. I know Bottom Line Dad likes it too. I like all sorts of pizza. I'm very open-minded, except for anchovies. That's like the classic no. And then here's this one, MacArthur scandal. This was a recent video. So the Ed Litton video was last July. This was March 18th, so just about a week and a half ago. And I would say, depending on your channel, you want to obviously make something that's people like, right? You don't want to just, and again, in my estimation and my purpose, especially trying to use this platform basically against itself for Christ's glory and people's good and edification. Because YouTube doesn't, ultimately, they don't care really, I think, most of the time what we produce, although occasionally they do, but they're far less lenient or far less restrictive than Twitter. Let me shut my door real quick. Sorry, this is kind of loud. Anyway, so the videos, you make a video that you want to produce and you want to encourage somebody with. Sometimes garden videos need to be short, sometimes they need to be long. My wife likes cleaning. She's actually really organized, kind of just gifted in that way. And she likes seeing, like, there's one gal, Minimal Mom, or The Minimal Mom, I think. She's like out of Minnesota. She's got like hundreds of thousands of followers. And, she does collabs and overlaps and talks about this and this and this and this. And sometimes they'll redo part of their house. She's been on YouTube a long time. But those videos, I think, range pretty regularly as far as difference in length. But there's others, like she watches like a guy who's restoring an old Victorian, like in St. Louis, I think it is. And, sometimes the videos are 5 minutes, sometimes they're a lot longer. And anyway, pretty fascinating. But let's see here. My fault. Sorry. So MacArthur Scandal, people watch that 20 minutes. Plagiarism, that's another Ed Litton. The Chosen, that was really huge. That almost got to 1,000. And then here's Gary DeMar, where we did a live Q&A. That's at 668. And then Platt, Church, Division, 651. And then the Marcus Rogers. So it's interesting. They don't really count the views, but I've got 3 of my shorts are in the top 10 as far as the overall watches. Pretty fascinating. This one's funny. How did people watch this more than 100%? I don't understand. 139.6%. Help me out, people. Help me out. How does that happen? It's really weird. All right. So audience is fun. We can look at audience. See, it even tells you, and this is helpful again for YouTubers. If you're not doing this, use this. Other channels your audience watches. So Canon Press, Reform Wiki, Right Response Ministries, Justin Peters Ministries, Conversations That Matter. So you help, and it forms you up into knowing who you're reaching. I'd love to talk to atheists, but atheists don't apparently watch my channel. Why? I don't know. Maybe they don't know it exists. Maybe they don't care. I don't know. But these are the people, and all these are Christian channels, varying stripes. 80 Robles. He's just got 80. I love it. I always see that and I just think Anno Domini, which is the year of our Lord after Christ's death, not after death. A lot of people used to think that's after death. So our Christian channel, the BCV, I have no idea what that is. Book, Chapter, Verse podcast. Okay. And Dear World Christian. Hey, Jason. And then Apologia Studios. Wow. Apologia Studios. Bottom Line Dad thing. I was hoping. And Ruslan. Ooh, I got some Ruslan people. Ruslan is 159,000 subs. Wow, he is tearing it up. Blog and Mablog, Fighting for the Faith. I haven't watched him in a long time. I know Jason actually knows his channel or knows him personally. Anyway, pretty cool. So top geographies, United States, 2/3, but India, almost 3% of my audience comes from India. Now, I don't know how this works because this doesn't add up to 100%, at least last I looked. But 20,000 of my views are United States. But India, almost 800. Indonesia, 274. A lot of these, though, are like 8-second average. I think it's because it's playing in their stream. Could you imagine like getting a video like my video in like Turkey or Malaysia? Like what? It's so weird. Like the internet's just weird, right? Like this is just weird. I mean, I'm even like coming into into your living room or your car, or your office right now. And Susie Q says, I like longer videos sometimes, but put it on, go for a walk. Yeah, I do too. I'll listen. So I've got a drive. We take one of our daughters to school and the drive's like 25 minutes, 30 minutes and one way. And then the church that I pastor, I usually go to the office a couple days a week and that's like 20 plus minutes. So I'll usually listen to stuff there. Sauerkraut is good, but on pizza. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do sauerkraut on pizza. No, that's too much. Sorry, John. Anyway, back to this. Algeria, Iraq. I mean, 35 views from Iraq. Like what? Just again, this is just fun and just entertaining and weird. But this also really helpful again if you are a YouTuber, you're trying to figure out who your audience is. I know some of those people out there. They're like, all right, just start your channel and envision who you want your person to be. I'm like, this isn't magic. That doesn't like that's how it works. Like people might watch me, and I mean, I have a load of ladies watch my channel. I wouldn't think any ladies would want to watch my channel. I mean, I think I'm too harsh and sometimes too crass, but I'm told otherwise. So I guess that's good. And I'm very welcome. We're very thankful that y'all are here. I've got a couple ladies here, Susie Q and Celie, and but there's several other ladies on routinely coming into the live streams, dropping comments, which I love. It's great. And I think most of us are believers, which is all the better. But it's just fascinating that you see your demographics, you see your gender split. It's really, really cool. So most of my demographics are from 18 to 44, right? A huge chunk, almost 33%, 24%, and 23%. So whatever that is, I don't even know. It's a long amount. Long amount. Live stream. I would have cut that out if this was a recording. 26. So 1 in 4 watchers are female. Awesome. I love it, ladies. I love you. This is great. Seriously, this is just wonderful. Drop a comment if you're watching this after the live and tell me something. I don't know. No, I appreciate both the guys and the gals subbing and talking and dropping comments. And really, I mean, the goal is to proclaim Christ, to show that he is better, and to encourage each other, because we live in very strange times. We can be very isolated. We can be very distraught and discouraged, and knowing, because the enemy will so often whisper in the ear and say, you're the only one. You're the only one struggling with this. You're the only one who thinks that way. You're the only one who does this. You're the only one fill in blank. But we're not. And this is one way to show that full well. So I'm, again, very thankful that this has really gone well, and I pray that it will continue to go well. So those who have just joined, we're going to look at right now my first... my history here. What is this? Do cultural differences prove weird? My first video, so a year ago, March 31st, 2021, I finally sat down. I'd already had my channel for over a year. Yeah, like almost a year and a half. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to do this. And so I was just at my office and I said, I'm just going to make something and I'm going to do something. And so I had the channel. It was originally called Contramundum Pro Mundo. That's against the world for the world. And now I'm Richard Contramundum, Richard against the world. Like, that's not my last name. I think some people think that, which is kind of funny. But anyway, it's not my last name. But like you, me, if you're a Christian, somebody was against you. Somebody was against you, but for your sake. They weren't just castigating you and slandering you and saying you're dumb, you're going to hell, blah, blah, blah. I hope not. I mean, maybe. But that's probably what not led you to Christ, but it was rather, hey, your worldview is not right. Hey, you're worshiping something else. Hey, why do you do that? Hey, your sin. Yeah, I mean, we all stumble, but like, give that to the Lord. Stop struggling with that and give it to Christ. Somebody was against you, but for your sake. Oh, real quick, before we get to that. What do you guys think of my top 10 videos is the least liked or the most disliked video? The most disliked. What do y'all think? The top 10 videos. So there was the Ed Litton video, my Stephen King video. I'm not going to count that, actually. The Gary DeMar video about the end times and the rapture, the John MacArthur video, and my David Platt. Out of those 4, what do you think is the least liked, the most disliked? Put it in the comments and tell me, or in the live chat. I guess you can put it in the comments too later, because you're going to be watching this later at some point. I'm just going to sit here and stare at you. Nobody's saying anything. MacArthur or Platt video, Rapture video, or Litton video? David Platt. Susie Q says David Platt. Are you Stephen King? That doesn't count. I said no. Come on, Will. Are you even paying attention? How did you do in school growing up? Just kidding. MacArthur. Celie says MacArthur. No, I'm not going to count the Stephen King video because it's a short and those don't count really for views or anything anyway. Celie says MacArthur. Susie Q says David Platt. So we got 1 vote for each. There's also the Rapture video, and there's also the Litton video from last summer. I did like 4 on Litton, maybe 5. And the second one got the most views at like 1,700. It's kind of tapered off because that's all old news. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. What do you think, Will? You think something different? Stephen King. But that doesn't count. I'm not going to count that because it's here it is here. Right. You can see your dislikes. It's pretty fun. The Will Smith video from yesterday didn't get as much traction as I thought it would. Isn't that funny? You make a video and you think, oh, it's going to be this, and then it's not, and then something else. You're like, what? People are watching that? Why? Who knows? Who knows? It's all fun though. It's all fun. While Contramundum isn't your last name, Seeley isn't actually my name. Oh, snap. David Platt also says the Bottom Line Dad is the most disliked video. Seeley is not. I'll tell you, it reminds me of celery, but I have a weird. You can ask my wife; she's on here sometimes. Not right now though. I have weird name associations. One, Jenny, which is her name, Jelly Bean, and Jennifer Pineapple. Just leave it alone at that. All right, so we get 2 for Platt, 1 for MacArthur. Well, let's look at it. There's 1 or 2 other people here, but they're not saying anything. That's okay. So this, I didn't get any dislikes on the Will Smith video yesterday. It's only got 67 views, though. This one here where I was talking about maybe being wrong, which I might have been a little bit. I don't know if you guys watched that. 20 likes, no dislikes. A little bummed out about that. No dislikes on my Andy Stanley video. It's just like, okay. Number 1, though, here it is. 46 likes on the MacArthur video. That's at 1,300 views, which is a little low for the ratio. 16 dislikes. Hardcore, right? Way more. I mean, like it's like I'm giddy and kind of like it's like this weird demented thing. 16 dislikes. Can you guys believe that? Isn't that crazy? 16. Unbelievable. 16 dislikes. Here, this is a lady who married the color pink a couple weeks ago. Kids know best. 100 likes or 100 likes, 12 likes and so on. So yeah, most stuff, although every so often I'll get a few and it's like, I feel like one person goes in and just like dislikes a bunch of videos. Here's the other Andy Stanley video I did a couple weeks ago. 1 dislike. SBC foolishness, 1 dislike. Trust your experience, 1 dislike. It's funny. This one has 23 dislikes. So that one actually would win. So Will, you would technically be correct, but it also has 3,000 views. And shorts supposedly go to everybody and not just like certain types of people. So a lot of people didn't like my humor as far as Stephen King being ignorant of the fact of he's fighting Marxism with a sign of Marxism. But ignorance pays because this guy's really wealthy and he's a total lefty lunatic who doesn't actually know anything about reality, or at least it doesn't seem like it. Maybe he does, but I kind of doubt it. What's crazy, and maybe a badge of honor, maybe it's, tell me I'm being too arrogant, but nobody has disliked a live video. Isn't that crazy? All my lives that I've done, not that many, they're all 100% likes. Isn't that cracial This is Racial Reconciliation. That was a great live we did with Jason and April Chapman. She's great. If you haven't checked her out, I urge you strongly. Her podcast is escaping me, the name of it at the moment. And then Rick Caldwell, also great guy. And Jason, they're all 3 out of Georgia. So I was kind of like the lame duck in that conversation, but it was a great conversation. 44 likes for the Q&A with Gary DeMar. Anyway, enough about that. That's boring. Dashboard. Go back to this. This is lots of fun. Hope you guys are having fun. I'm having fun. It's fun. All right, so let's go to my videos, your videos, and let's watch. Oh, I was just here. Duh. I want to find. You can tell I don't really go in here too often. No, that's not what I want. Let's just go to my channel directly. There we go. Videos. We're going to go to the inaugural Contra Thoughts I did last March. Here's a bunch of videos. If you haven't caught up, if you haven't watched every single one of these videos, shame on you. I'm just kidding. So you can tell, just real quick, this is, again, kind of fun. Right around the Ed Litton scandal, which was the 12th or maybe 10th episode I did, I actually got Photoshop. So that's my background is graphic design and media. I didn't have Photoshop because you have to pay for it, and I was kind of holding out again, or you have to rent it, like you're borrowing it every month. It's really dumb. You can't just buy the program. Anyway, I finally broke down and said, "Yeah, let's budget for this." Okay, fine. And I said, "Budget. I just mean spend the money." So I switched here. This is an iteration of some people like Dave Rubin and a few others who have very similar looks. I think the Daily Wire also has thumbnails that are very simple. I kind of just wanted to do that. I know some people go crazy with their thumbnails. Obviously, a thumbnail is you want people to click on it, right? And it's too much. This I did, and I did do some satire. I might get back into it. You can go back and watch these if you want. These are back from 9 months ago in June, July. I did some like newscasty satire where I'm Adam Anthropos and I talk like this, and I'm a total dense leftist moron. And yeah, progressive church steals from conservatives is probably my favorite one. But you can see some of these I was using free applications here, making these thumbnails. Not very, I don't really like these, but I'm going to leave them up as per Think Media and Sean, whatever his last name is, Sean Cannell, who says, leave your stuff up. It's good. I also did a satire deconstruction video as well. This was like a year ago. It was pretty funny. If you want to laugh, go back and watch some of these. I don't want to say they're good because that just sounds weird, but I enjoyed them. I think you might enjoy them too. This is the first one though. We're going to watch this. So let's take the two options. Oops, I was watching it a while ago. All right, here we go. We're going to listen on this 1, 2, 5, just so you guys kind of get the feel. If it'll load. Of course, it's not loading because, we want it to load. You going to play? One of my daughters is crying. That's always fun. Don't worry, my wife's here. I'm not neglecting her. Come on, what are you doing? Well, maybe we won't watch it. I'm going to try this one more time. I'm going to lower it down 240. The internet's fine, so I don't know why that is. Again, the beauty of live television, even though this isn't television at all, but we have the power of TV, live TV in our palm, and people can slap people, and they do this in real TV. We just saw this, right? Here it is. Now it's loading. Let's roll. Work, please. Come on, Lord. Please make this work. Consider liking it. Don't actually do it. Just consider it. Welcome to Contramundum Pro Mundo. I'm Richard, your host. And we're going to be talking briefly about the Bible is man's opinion. Now, do I believe the Bible is man's opinion? No. Spoiler alert, I don't. But what we're going to do, just for a moment, is take, for instance, two things. Two opposing ideas. One, and a lot of people say this in the world, especially in our modern day, 2021, especially in the West, in America, where I live, the Bible is just man's opinion. It's just man's attempt at God. It's religion and so on. I don't need religion. I'm spiritual. So let's take the two options. Now, there's categories within reality. There's a possibility, there's a probability, and actuality, right? Actuality is real reality, prime reality. And I contest that the Bible deals with prime reality, deals with people how they are. So we have people who right now, who are many in the world, especially my age and younger, floating around saying, well, the Bible is just man's opinion. I don't need to listen to the Ten Commandments. I don't need to listen to the Sermon on the Mount or, the fruit of the Spirit or anything like that. I mean, it's just your truth, my truth. It doesn't really matter. All right. Well, what they're advocating for is still man's opinion. They're not advocating for some other substantial reality that truth is over here. They're not saying truth is this thing. Now, they actually are saying that, but without words. Let me explain. So somebody might say, he might contest and bring up and say, well, who do you think Jesus is? Or, who was Jesus? Who's Jesus to you? They might say, well, he's a moral teacher. And he's a good guy. He was misunderstood and so on. But he's not God.
He didn't die on a cross or something like that, or he definitely didn't rise again, because we all know people don't rise from the dead, which, by the way, that's what makes Jesus so amazing. Because people don't rise from the dead, that's why he's amazing, why he can take away your sin. But nevertheless, we can see and understand that people are advocating still for man's opinion, or mankind, or womankind, if you prefer. They're still preferring and saying, I want this. So the average person says 100%, I want man's opinion. There's no partiality, no distinction. And truthfully, what they're saying is there is no actual truth. Right is wrong, wrong is right, up is down, left is right, so on and so forth. And so we can understand then that they're saying that they want man's opinion only. Now, they also say that the Bible is man's opinion. Now, I will grant you, for the sake of argument, that the Bible could be man's opinion. It's possible that it's man's opinion, but of course, this is just a thought exercise. But say it's possible. It's also possible that it's God's word. It's also possible that the God of creation, the God who actually created in actual space and actual time, real planets, real people, recently, within thousands of years, not millions and billions of years, actually reveals himself in such a way, tore through creation, that there is beyond our natural realm, a supernatural realm where this God of creation dwells. Not to mention spiritual entities and powers and beyond that we can even imagine with our five senses. But it's possible that that reality is true. So there's like a 50% chance, again, for sake of argument, that that's possible. The other thing is it's 50% chance that it's man's opinion. Well, what would you rather have? 100% man's opinion where there is no right, there is no wrong. It's all about consent, quote unquote, or your own ideas about reality. That doesn't really work very well for people when someone breaks into your house or someone does something illicit to you or a loved one, or steals something or lies to you. Yet at the same time, we have people saying these things are wrong, but they have zero foundation in which they stand. Over here, they're borrowing from God's word. They're borrowing from the reality that these things are objectively wrong. And that's what the Bible deals with, is objective truth. There is a foundation. Jesus is that cornerstone. The scripture talks about that repeatedly. And if you have a cornerstone, you have a foundation of a house, you have to have a foundation for reality. Jesus is that foundation for reality. So the Bible is either man's opinion, it's just man's opinion, or it's God's word. Over here, the people say, it's only man's opinion I want. So it's 100% chance that it's only man's opinion and nothing more. You're not going to get anything more. There is no supernatural. There is no life after death. There is no meaning in life. There is no right. There is no wrong. There really is no point at all to your life. Take your pick. I'm Richard, and this has been Contra Mundo Pro Mundo. Feel free to like and subscribe, and go ahead and comment below. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Take care.
Okay. Did I lose everybody? Let's see. I lost everybody. There's like 2 people. No. Should probably pause that before it goes away. There we go. Oh, did that not even show? Are you for real? Oh, I'm such a clown. I'm sorry, y'all. That was so dumb. I just literally played it without screen sharing it. Well, that's the beauty of live TV with no producer, isn't it? Well, I just watched a video only to myself, and yeah, my apologies, y'all. I'm just gonna drop it in the comments in here, and yeah, dumb. That was dumb of me to do. My apologies. All right, well, go watch this. It's a video that I did a year ago, and that's the whole point of this channel, or rather today's video, is looking at this. I'm just going to show it. Where'd you go? There you are. So this is it here. So I was just going with Contra Mundo Pro Mundo. Basically what I do in this video is just discuss right and wrong, the Bible's man's opinion or not. If it's not man's opinion.
All right. Welcome to Contra Mundo Pro Mundo. I'm Richard, your host. and we're going to be talking.
I almost wore this
briefly
shirt today.
about The Bible is man's opinion.
Okay. So anyway, if you wouldn't mind, go watch this. If you want to watch this, you don't have to watch this. I'm going to drop it in the comments here. And go find that if you want to. But basically, I just go through it, and I agree with everything I just said. No, might sound weird. But it is true. Either the Bible is just man's opinion, and it's not God's word, and there's not really a foundation, or man's opinion is just all over the place and whatever. And it's like, well, when someone says, I don't like the Bible because it's just man's opinion, they're still advocating for man's opinion, was my point. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful. John's laughing with me. That was funny. I can't believe I did that. That is so goofy. My apologies. But it is here. And I did show, let's see. There's other videos I wanted to show you just briefly. Here we go. No, I don't want that. Let's do this. There's quite a few older videos I did, and I was using, as I was saying, I started using Photoshop and making what I think are better thumbnails. But you've got all these here. These are from 9 months ago, 10 months ago. This is what I was talking about. Again, you probably didn't see this. Totally ridiculous. I'm such a goofball. I did a couple satire videos. Twitter bans user. Progressive church steals from conservatives. This is my favorite one. I'll just play it just for fun for a moment. It's only 2 minutes. Let's watch it.
Out of a church in San Francisco, California. Coming up next on PFN.
Of course, it's not playing. Why would it? Why would it play? That really is helpful. Well, this is just a whole hot mess of a live. Here we go.
PFN. There has been an increase in many evangelical churches around the country having women preach on Sunday mornings for special events, certain days like Mother's Day, for example. This is not just in some churches, but even...
Okay, well, I'm not going to bore you with that anymore. Go back and watch that if you want. They're fun. Anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out for a moment. Does anybody have any thoughts or comments or questions or anything like that? Drop it in the comments now. Stop slamming yourself. It's more fun if we do it. Well, that's true. That's true. It's not fun for me though, John. How dare you? How dare you? That's the Greta Thunberg. Thunberg. It's Thunberg. TH. How dare you? Great meme. That was probably one of the last good memes. Now we got Will Smith meme like nobody's business. But anyway, it's fun. So encourage you, if you do a channel, keep pressing on, seek the Lord's face while he be found, and continue to refine, change your stuff, make better, do this. I've read all sorts of stuff about, pinning comments, hearting comments, trying to have interaction with people, responding to people. Most of us, I think, at least who are going to be watching this, are going to be doing that. More satire news videos. Yeah, I mean, they're fun. I was going to do one with the Delta variant about how Southwest and American Airlines were working on their own variants too, and they were really upset that Delta already had theirs, and then it kind of started, and I was like, yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, Babylon Bee is my inspiration, as it is for many, and there's something you can do and say with satire that you can't other places and other times. So had to do something again. I'm not a biologist. I know. Well, I can't answer this because I'm not a biologist. Well, then you're also shouldn't be a Supreme Court justice, is what my response would be. What I actually would have wanted to ask Ketanji, like, you couldn't find the most ethnic name, like, and it's Brown Jackson, like, it's just a parody of itself. Somebody probably thinks that's racist, but like, are you a woman? Is what I would have asked, or the woman who was talking. I'd be like, well, am I a woman? And just, am I a woman? Are you a woman? Can you point to a woman in the room? And then, of course, you have the Kindergarten Cop 1991 movie with Schwarzenegger and the little bowl cut hair kid who's like, boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. It's like, yeah, 5-year-olds know it, and that was totally common sense. What also throws me, and nobody's really touched on it, speaking of early 90s movies, was Ace Ventura, I think came out in 93. Of course, Jim Carrey. And the whole premise of that is what is it? Ray Finkel, right? Remember the guy goes missing and everything else. And supposedly it's not really because she's a female, a woman, but she plays ish former Ray Finkel. And if you guys remember toward the end of the movie, all the cops, it's the standoff, and Ace Ventura is like, he's a man, and this and that. And he pulls down her pants and it doesn't get too graphic, but there's male parts, or if you know the movie. Anyway, it was funny, and then the guys are all spitting and they're gagging because they all, apparently made out with her as well as Ace Ventura did too. Blah 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 blah. It's all very campy, funny stuff, but that wouldn't fly today. Or even was it one of the Austin Powers? I think the second, maybe the third one, where he punches one of the characters' old lady moms in the face, and he's like, "That's not your mom. That's a man, baby." It's just like that again. It wouldn't fly today, and it's in one sense it's sad because we can't laugh. Comedies become so taboo because people don't have any spines. They don't have any skin. And they can't laugh because ultimately laughing is a form of dissent, and leftism, not just Democrats or whatever, but leftism, just the ideology of single groupthink, one thought, it doesn't allow for dissent. And that's what communism is. It only allows for one party, one train of thought. You have to respect and love and worship the leader. You have to love the party. You have to do these things. When we saw this full well in books like 1984 and other things. And it's just... Anyway, Ace Ventura. That whole movie's punchline is not PC anymore, Susie Q says. Yeah, it's true. We go off our lived experiences. What does it matter what science says? That's true. Celie says, as a woman, how hard is it to define what a woman is? Yeah, I know. Well, that's the goofy thing. And it's like, how are you even, especially in Women's Month, how many ladies have you celebrated Women's Month? Women's Appreciation Month, by the way. Susie Q, Celie, have you guys celebrated that? Ladies, have you celebrated? In the month, right, we have the Woman of the Year, who's really a dude, and then named by whomever, and then the Supreme Court Justice nominee who can't define what a woman is as a woman. And then, what's the other thing? Oh, and the other guy who's swimming against women, actual women, winning all sorts of tournaments. And it's like, in the age of mental illness, in the age of like hard structure, and this, everybody's got autism and ADHD and ADD and Asperger's, and in this age, and yet we're not questioning that this disorder that has been a disorder for years, gender dysphoria, isn't affecting these people. In fact, we're gonna just pat them on the back and say, "Oh, yeah, no, you got this right. You are now the other gender." Oh, yeah. So we're living in Twilight Zone now. Got it. Well, normal people aren't buying it, and don't buy it. Don't buy it. No, we don't celebrate those hokey History Month things. That's good. That's good. William Thomas Leah. Yeah. Sorry, everyone. I have no filter. That's okay. I don't have much of a filter either. And that, we might get arrested for it, Celie, but that's okay. It's worth it because speaking the truth is better than living a lie. So anyway, I hope you guys found this helpful. It's fun stuff. And yeah, go back and watch if you want. You just have to dig a little bit more on the video channel. But celebrating 1 year of Contra Thoughts. Hopefully going to keep pressing on, doing them 2 or 3 times a week if I can help it. I just dropped episode 78 yesterday, which is kind of cool. So pretty fun, pretty interesting, and use the platform if you're using it for God's glory. And see, John says I'm bigot. I am probably so. According to some people, definitely I am. I'm a misogynist and an oppressor in a cisgender heteronormative aggressor. That's another. I like that. Aggressing is good. But no, John's kidding. Anyway, it's been fun. Dropping another episode tomorrow of Contra Thoughts, so look out for that. Try and do them in the morning if I can help it, but life gets in the way sometimes of life. So you all know how that goes. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day. Be blessed and be against the world for it. All right. See ya.